Council struck a Woodchester working group, which I chaired, and we had two other members of council and members of the public, two other members of the public on it. And we worked for about 6 months on a plan. We spoke to stakeholders within the community to get some ideas. And what we presented to council just before Christmas was a two-phase plan to really bring some life back into Woodchester Villa. So phase one is an opportunity to really get folks to reacquaint themselves with the villa. It was surprising, and maybe not so surprising, that a lot of people didn't know where Woodchester Villa was. Part of that challenge is that you can't see Woodchester Villa. So one of the things that we have decided to do is to put some money into some infrastructure beyond the building, so hiring an arborist to get some great vistas of Woodchester. We're going to be doing some work with the Bracebridge Horticultural Society with some of their guidance on creating some historical gardens, sprucing up the grounds here, doing some infrastructure stuff in terms of HVAC and plumbing and heating that needs to be upgraded. And then we'll be prepared to launch phase one, which is really just bringing some programming back and some life back into Woodchester Villa, which would include opening it up to groups who would like to use this as meeting space, bringing some events to Woodchester, like a strawberry social, like maybe a Sunday farmers market, and some activities, opening it up for rental activities if folks want to use the grounds for photography for weddings or whatever it might be. We actually will be having a town staff person that will be working out of the home base here as an events coordinator. That's not a new position, but a position that we've got additional funding for. So that person will be here as more of a guide to the building, to coordinate some of the activities, and also use as a hub for them in coordinating some of the events in town. That's phase one. And phase two the possibilities of phase two are really endless. And a lot of the discussion we had with our stakeholders included some really great ideas. I know that folks like Mr. Patrick Boyer had a keen interest in seeing the museum, and I think that there's an education piece there that we can do that will see some sort of museum or museum-like opportunity for folks to come up and understand the significance that Woodchester has in the Bracebridge community. There's been some real keen interest and some discussions about having some viewing platforms and perhaps a viewing tower. And as one stakeholder suggested, with the purchase of the Timber Mart property, what a great opportunity to have a possible zip line going from the Woodchester down to the Timber Mart property. I think that overall the working group and town council recognize that Woodchester plays an important part to our community historically. It plays an important part strategically with the success of acquiring the Timber Mart property and working synergy with the Bracebridge Bay, that we really see this as a jewel that has really been untapped for a while, and we want to bring people back to Woodchester.